Okay, everybody. I tried to do this earlier, but now I'm in a better situation, so therefore I'm gonna do it right now. As y'all well know, well, last night I was watching Jason Black's video discussing this, and this had to be. I had to bring this one out. This was just more urgent than ever. So I mean, to everybody, y'all, just get your antennas up and pay attention. Now, as you well know, those who don't know, but I seen it coming on Jason's video that the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, this is their logo right here, which also stands for me, Fuck Boys Incorporated, had released a dossier, a manifest of labeling, quote unquote, this the term they're using, black identity extremist, BIE, as terrorist organization, as terrorist. Basically, long story short, labeling black people as being terrorists. Now, I think I did find the PDF where you can go ahead and download. I'm gonna leave the link in the description so y'all can download the PDF and you can save it. So let me just excuse me 1 second. I'm gonna just go ahead real quick, and y'all give me a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and get that for y'all in a few. Okay, sorry about that, people. I'm back, but this is it right here. Um, and this was dated on August 3rd, 2017. You know what else went down August 3rd? The white nationalist KKK and all the other Confederate rag flying fuckers that descended on Charlottesville. This was being passed around right up under our noses. One thing you got to understand when it comes down to to the system of to white supremacists or white inferior races, they never sleep, and this is include up on the federal level too. So here's the executive summary. This is what this is about. The FBI assesses it is very likely black identity extremists. Now, see, because back then they could have used they were trying to use black supremacists, but it wasn't working. Because tell me something, what the hell we supreme over about in this society? Think about it. Perceptions of police brutality against African Americans spurred an increase in premeditated, retaliatory, lethal violence against law enforcement and will very likely serve as justification for such violence. The FBI assesses it is very likely this increase began the following on August 9th, 2014, which is 2 days earlier from Charlottesville in this year. But we going back 2014. We all know what happened there. It was the shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, who got gunned down by that murdering scumbag Darren Wilson, and the subsequent grand jury in November of 2014, a day before right on Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving, to be honest with you, declination to indict the police officers, which it wasn't officers, it was officer, singular, and Darren Wilson involved. The FBI assesses it is very likely of incidents of alleged police abuse against African Americans. Well, it's not alleged because it's a natural fact because they never keep records of police abusing African black people. So they want to write alleged to make them feel like as cops is the victim. See, that Blue Lives Matter law kind of plays into this as well, along with Obama. So I'm gonna tell y'all how he ties into this against African Americans, since they have continued to feed the resurgent and ideologically motivated violent criminal activity within the BIE movement. See, look for that acronym. But also likely, that's another key word you need to look out for. Likely. Okay, the FBI assesses it is very likely some BIEs are influenced by a mix. This is where it gets good, people. Of anti-authoritarian, Moorish sovereign citizen ideology. Stop right there. Whistle on the play. Since when you ever heard of a FBI document ever stating Moors in there? See, they trying to lump all of us in there. They trying to lump all of us in there. Everybody. Moors, Hebrew Israelites, the NGE, RBG, the Garveyites, all y'all, NOI, Moorish sovereign citizens ideology, and BIE ideology. The FBI has high confidence in these assessments based on a history of violent incidents attributed to individuals who acted on behalf of their ideological beliefs, documented in FBI investigations and other law enforcement and open source reporting. The FBI makes this judgment with the key assumptions the recent incidents are ideologically motivated. Now, I think it's a 12-page intelligence assessment on this. But I just read you the summary. And see, this one right here, where we go with the second part, the scope note, it circles right around. See, 23rd, like look at this one here. I'm gonna highlight that. The 23rd March 2016 FBI intelligence intelligence anyway. Let's just stick with this right here. Okay. All right. Go back there. Ah, grief. Hold on a second. What damn? Wait a minute. All right. All right. Sorry about that. My apologies. Just I tell you, it's something else. I'm just trying to get it back right. Okay. All right. But this is what I was saying. It's I was on something. And God damn it! I just had it. Now here, what they talking about with Micah Johnson. July 7th, when it come down to unclassified suspects' grievance very likely to lead to violent targeting law enforcement. Now they talked about Micah Johnson on July 7th last year. Micah Johnson ambushed. Well, I'm saying Micah Johnson allegedly ambushed and shot 11 law enforcement officers, killing 5 in downtown Dallas, Texas during a First Amendment protected protest before being ultimately killed by police. The 5 deceased officers were white. The planned public event was protesting recent officer involved shootings of African Americans in Louisiana, Alton Sterling, and Minnesota, Philando Castile. Based on Johnson's journal writings and statement to police, he appeared to have been influenced by BIE ideology. And then they all the way back October 23rd, 2014. With Zale H. Thompson, allegedly. Now look at this. Now, you know, now convergence of BIE and more sovereign citizen ideology very likely leads to violence against law enforcement officers. BS. Okay, the FBI assesses that it's very likely a few of the BIEs who have targeted law enforcement since 2014 were influenced by more than one ideological perspective. The FBI judges it is very likely in 4 of the 6 BIE attacks against law enforcement in 2014, the perpetrators were motivated by a mix of BIE ideology and Moorish sovereign citizen extremist ideology, a category of SCC ideology. The FBI assesses it is very likely BIE adoption of a Moorish SCE identity reinforces a sense of disenfranchisement from society and a perception that the criminal justice system is unjust. You see how they trying to lump everything into there? Now, this was something I knew about, but I never had a chance to do nothing on this. On the 4th of October and 13th of October 2016, an individual allegedly shot at 2 different police stations in Indianapolis, Indiana. Subject left a handwritten note at the scene of one of the shootings in which he identified himself as a Moor and made anti-white statements. The subject posted pictures on social media of African American men carrying assault rifles behind texts calling for social injustice and retribution. The subject was later involved in a shootout with police during his arrest on related charges, according to law enforcement reporting. Let me tell you something with this one, and I'm gonna be real with you. For that was the work of an agent provocateur. This is COINTELPRO all over again. Let me take you back to the time of COINTELPRO, which was short for Counterintelligence Program, that Gay Edgar Hoover used that to try to dismember and destroy the Black Panther Party for self-defense from within. And one of those tactics they used was two things. One, writing letters to start stuff between the Black Panther Party and the Blackstone Rangers. In other words, between Fred Hampton, who was leading the Chicago branch of the Black Panthers, against Jeff Fort, aka Chief Malik, and the Blackstone Rangers. And lucky for us, it never went down. This is the same thing right here, what I just read. Because like I said earlier, and like what Jason Black said, when you ever heard of a government document, I mean FBI document stating more in there? And like I said, this is just another attempt to also try to discredit, slander the character, integrity of that, of the brothers and sisters of the MSTA and of the national and divine movement. One that I happen to be, that I'm very much proud of. You know, they don't do stuff like that. We all about reclaiming your birthright, nationality. We always talked about it. I always talked about that. I talked about that several times. Those of you Jews up there. Knowing the law, studying the Constitution. See, this is all trying, and I'm gonna tell you something. 2016 now, 2016. Now here's you know what happened July 17th last year. Gavin Eugene Long allegedly, I'm gonna still say that, allegedly ambushed and shot 6 law enforcement officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, before eventually being killed by police. Lie. No, Gavin Long took his own life. He stayed on code. The deceased victims included one African American officer, one white officer from the Baton Rouge Police Department, one white officer from the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office. Long has expressed black separatist rhetoric both on social media and his manifesto, including rant against crackers and reference to an African American male killed by police in Baton Rouge on July 5th. That was Alton Sterling. July 5th, 2016. In his manifesto, Long expressed his frustrations with the police and criminal justice system in the United States and saw his actions as a necessary evil in order to create substantial change. A law enforcement search of Long's laptop contained biographical information and residential addresses of 2 officers involved in the Alton Sterling shooting, and Google search directions to one of the officers' home address. Now, Long has also declared himself to be, here we go again, a Moor, had changed his slave name to the Moorish name Cosmo Asar Septembera, and was carrying a Moorish identification card at the time of his death, according to Open Sources report. Yeah, this goes right on with this. Now, you look at the summary right here where it say more sovereign citizens. See, this is how they write. They trying to switch the words up. We're going to control the narrative. A loose network of mostly African Americans who believe they are sovereign entities who do not recognize the authority of the U.S. government. Moorish sovereign citizens ideology derives from the Moorish Science Temple of America, a nonviolent religious and cultural movement founded in 1913 by Noble Drew Ali. Again, you could tell they can't spell. who taught his followers that they were not Negroes but Moors, people of North African, Berber, and Arab descent. Some Moorish adherents adopt sovereign citizen strategies to assert diplomatic immunity by claiming membership in the fictitious Native American tribes, claiming descent from settlers who arrived in North America during the pre-Columbian era, or identify as foreign nationals or ambassadors. Now, the sources come from the FBI primer, January 2014. As you can see, U.S. black separatist extremists, an introduction for law enforcement, unclassified multiple sources. Thing is, they trying to link all this. Like, I think it's a whole 12-page one. Hold on one second. You got end notes. It's 12 pages though. But like I say, I'm gonna leave the link in the description for this. But my point when it comes to this here, my point when it that this is COINTELPRO just is still evolving, and it's gonna continue to evolve. But I say like this: if you don't believe me, go to Jason Black's channel, The Black Authority, and you watch how he eloquently goes head here and he breaks it down. Maybe not as much as he breaks it down more better than I can. But when I seen it and read it last night, this morning, and I said, let me do a video. I got to do a video on this. So my thing to like this to my subs, to my subs and to people that's in my circles. This is what I mean by getting on code, and we got to get on code and just watch your ass, be careful what you use and all this stuff, because see, like, truly, sure enough, the trolls are gonna try to come in here. They're gonna try to go ahead and flag this and try to get your channel shut down or get a strike against your channel. Now I know one LVZ and Torrent Rain, they're doing a live stream right now. I'll probably be going over there later on to join them. Not exactly sure of that because my time is pressed right about now and stuff. But I just wanted to go ahead and put this out. Like I said, I'm gonna leave a link in the description for y'all to go ahead and download that dossier, and you see it for you, those documents, that manifesto, and you see it for yourself. Anyway, that's the only thing I got to say. So I got the Nelly video coming. I got one with Cam. I got